House.
From the new crib.
We are live, and the New York Mets survived the weekend thanks to that beautiful bitch, Mother Nature, baby. Thank you, baseball gods. This podcast was very close to being a therapy session. I can tell you right now, people were freaking the fuck out of my mentions. They're asking about, are we counseling, or how nervous are we 1 to 10? I'm turning into Frank the Tank, all this kind of stuff. And then, as they say in baseball, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains, and it fucking poured all goddamn weekend. It was beautiful. We got to demote like half of our AAA starters for like a couple of days, and we're going to Detroit. Max, Verlander, Joey Chirv, the new big three in New York right there, boys. We're ready to rock right now. So we're in for another episode. Kev, first from the new house right here. Tell me we got a new router, because that old house fucking sucked.
We got a new router. Does it sound bad in here, though? It probably sounds bad, right?
Little echo going on. It's all right.
Oh, it must be so bad, those high ceilings.
Yeah, it's so big and empty, you know? It's just so many rooms. So I'm going to try to find a place that's semi not echoey.
You know what I'm going to call that place? That's good. That's the house that Portnoy built, because that'll piss you off if I say that.
Don't you fucking dare say that. You know what? That was the worst thing said on a live broadcast this week at Barstool. You asshole.
Oh, man.
Right here from the stairwell.
So,
be perfect.
Kev's looking for his spot, but Kev, he's in his new house. He has the Mets on tonight. He has the Knicks on tonight. No matter what he's doing, we don't have the Rangers, unfortunately, on tonight. He can sit back, relax, pop himself a Coors Light. It's the best way to celebrate any kind of new thing in your life. Those Blue Mountains welcome you back to home ownership. Welcome to hell, pal. Welcome back to hell, but the Coors Light will help you chill, because it's cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged, literally made to chill, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. So pair your plans with a nice cold Coors Light, the beer that's keeping New York chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/believe. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Okay, we're in a new spot, Kev. I don't hear any gunshots going off, so we're not near any target practice. There's no echo. We're doing good. LFGM. I mean, we said this a few times. We said it after the Marlins series. Winning 2 or 3 felt like a loss. 2 or 3, losing 2 or 3 against the Braves damn near felt like a win, because we didn't get our dicks pushing like I thought we were going to.
Bro, I said it was going to be a sweep when I was looking at the schedule wrong, and I thought it was 3 games. When I realized it was 4, I was like, oh, this is basically the end of the season right now. We're going to have people jumping off left and right. The fact that we got out of there with just losing 2 out of 3 and kind of end on a positive note, coming off of a win, I'll sign for that every single day of the week, with the way that we were playing, the injuries we had, everything lined up for just an absolute demolishing. I'll take losing 2 out of 3. That felt like it felt like we won. I was like, oh, great. Like I even said, let's keep the momentum going. And someone goes, you just lost 2 out of 3. Whatever, dude. Let's keep it going.
And like, that's how you know shit has changed. The Mets fan, like, we would never have said 2 or 3 in the old days as like a win. But it's like, listen, things should get better here. We should settle down. And let's be honest. You're just looking at the probables going into the matchup. It's like, they're 2 aces to start off. And then it's like, their regular pitching. We just have blank spots in guys. We have guys I've never even heard of. Denial Reyes. Like, that guy is he's a made-up character, and he's a fucking 50 overall in the show, because he stinks. Get that guy off my fucking team. He's goddamn awful. And the baseball gods, they gave us one. We saw the opposite side of it in 2015 when the Padres game was delayed, and then we fucking blew that save, and then everyone lost their minds. The Cardinals game that Pete wanted to play, they play it, they lose.
Oh,
this one worked out absolutely perfectly. The only issue, the only downside of the weekend was we lost our Barstool at the ballpark. So I'm going to just hit on this in the beginning of the episode. So Barstool at the ballpark was postponed due, obviously, to some other nature pouring all over the place. They have moved back our Barstool at the ballpark to August 12th. August 12th is where it's been moved back to. So I was told
not ideal.
Not ideal.
I'll shoot you straight. It's not ideal. We already have a Barstool at the ballpark scheduled for August 11th. I don't want it to be this way. There's just nothing you can do. When the team reschedules those tickets for that day, that's when your tickets are valid. You can swap out your tickets for another game. However, I don't think it includes the drinking, and they won't refund you the difference of price. So I have no problem on this one saying that the Mets are just not really handling it right, but I also know they're in a tough spot. So the weather's, put it this way, the weather saved our early on season, but kind of fucked us over for Barstool at the ballpark. If you want to go back-to-back days, we'll be there. I'm sure at least a couple of us will be at one game or the other, if not both. If you want to just go to one, if you want to swap it out, you can. But you got me?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Kev, I think it's actually,
choices.
I think it's better this way. So if you wanted to come, so we have, like you said, Friday, August 11th, we have Barstool at the ballpark, 7:10 at night, Mets Braves. And then now this game we got pushed back till, so the game on Saturday, the April game, has been moved to Saturday, August 12th at 1:10 p.m. There's going to be a dual admission doubleheader. So 1:10 is the one we're going to. If you have Barstool the ballpark tickets to this Saturday, your ticket is in there. You don't have to do anything. You just show up to the game. They scan your ticket, whatever. If you were going to get that Friday game, you don't have to get that Friday game anymore. You can get the Saturday game. I personally would rather watch the Mets and Braves play in August after the trade deadline, pennant race atmosphere, instead of watching some AAA pitcher on the Mets get killed in front of my face at Citi Field in 50-degree weather, probably with 3 rain delays or so. And listen, if you can't make it August 12th, that's fine. You can either, tweet at us. We can get the tickets sold, or you contact msosa@nymets.com and he'll figure out, what to do with your tickets. I remember in the past, like they take your tickets, whatever you paid, and then you can split that up however you want. I think it's good for any games except for there's a Hall of Fame game or something like that. And then obviously the Subway Series. Other than that, you're eligible for whatever. We wanted to get this Saturday game, Kev, remember? And they're like, we can't give you this Saturday game. So we end up getting the Friday game. And now we got a Saturday game as well. It's at 1:10. So start drinking at 12 o'clock. Keep it going. Your Saturday, August 12th, going to be beautiful outside. Hopefully have Max or Verlander. Fuck, we might have fucking Shohei Ohtani on the mound. I can't promise anything, but there's a chance it could happen. So we're going spin zone, baby. It's if you can't get positive vibes only, because even look, they won the second game yesterday, and even though that first game losing by 1 run hurts, they fucking showed up. I was really worried when Reyes is just giving up home run derby. I was like, man, we're going to have a 12-1 game. Guillorme's going to be pitching for 4 innings. And that was the team I was hoping was going to show up on Friday. To be fair, the game did end early. They might have pitched a comeback then, but they didn't. But you know what? I'm happy they at least showed. So the offense showed up at least.
Dude, Pete Alonso, his importance cannot be overstated. I mean, without him, where the fuck would this team be right now? And even in a losing effort, that starting that rally, it really did mean something, because I think they would have rolled over and died that whole weekend, and even the doubleheader had they not shown some life. That was huge.
It was enormous. Kyle, what was your thoughts on the weekend? I didn't get to see the Mets after dark, or all the video clips.
I think the biggest takeaway is that if these young guys are going to start playing like they were in AAA, now Pete's finally going to get some help. So it's like Marte, I thought, looked so much better. I know he didn't have a ton of hits, but he was driving the ball to the gap. He was hitting line drives. Bogey is on a tear like he was when we got him last season. I think he's hitting 280 something. So this whole entire time, and the Mets are over 500, it's just been Pete and Lindor. Nobody else has shown up whatsoever. So if literally 1 or 2 of them starts hitting, because Beatty looks like he's going to be a stud, that's a huge difference, and it's a totally different team now when we see the Braves in August.
How we feeling, Phillip?
So all these games are fake. Friday, 5-inning Mickey Mouse game. Tuesday, we had a NPC bullpen game, doesn't count. And then in our win, we murdered Ronald Acuna. So they'll be back in the lineup tonight.
That's my guy, Phil. Just putting the fucking spin zone. That's exactly what I love to hear. And listen, we can go back to the National Series. You want to tell me, hey, this team didn't show up for those 2 National games. It was gross outside. It reminded me of the old Mets. It's like, Gray and Gore are fucking legit prospects here, and they're trying to win too in the other dugout. At least we got shut down by, I think, what are going to be 2 good pitchers. We're going to see a whole lot of the next few years here. So I'm not going to freak out even too much about the National Series. But again, this is strictly because that Sunday and Acuna. Now Acuna, everything sounds fine now.
No fracture. He's fine. He just milks everything.
Phil and Nicky the Good are our fucking bloodhounds. They're the ones searching for blood anytime a guy on the opposing team gets hurt. Sounds like everything's all right. Beatty, I'm just gonna go out and say he's ready for the fucking That guy, I think, is going to show up for the Braves. He's showing up for the Braves games. That's a guy that has your back. Alvarez getting that big RBI yesterday. No one needed it more on the fucking team. Like, it's not like he did it against the Nationals or against like the Rockies. He did it against the Braves at home too. So the crowd got to give him its props. And I'm going to say it right now, boys. I'm pretty sure this will be unanimous. Everyone raise your hand for a yay. Is Sean Murphy the next great Met killer? Yay. Yeah, that's a sweep.
Jesus Christ, that guy.
That's like scary, man.
They couldn't get him out. He was like 8 for his last 9 or some crazy shit against them. That was insane.
Imagine if you walked up to the trumpets, how much more annoying it would be. Like the last catcher.
Oh God, damn. I didn't even think about that. And he has that like little fucking mustache too. He just looks like he looks like he should still be on the Braves. He kind of has a Brave name. I mean, he still has the same name, but Sean Murphy is like a Braves guy who should be batting 240 and has some pop in his bat, but doesn't do anything else. This guy's a Gold Glover too. I'm like, and they locked him up for years. I'm like, this guy's in their lives.
At least the Oakland A's got some good prospects back for him. But no, did not.
Did you hear? I think it was Keith last night. He was just like, they just straight up got swindled. Like they weren't even sugarcoating it.
Bro, not to mention, Ozzie Albies has what, like 25 RBIs and 7 home runs. He gets $5 million a year. It's criminal. It should be, forget about baseball should have new rules. It should be unconstitutional. The Atlanta Braves should go like jail time for what they're doing to Ozzie Albies. It's disgusting.
Kev, they've broken the rules before. It's on the record. The old GM, they got fucking like, I think he's back in baseball now, but he had like a lifetime suspension at one point. It's just not right what they're doing down there.
Criminals.
It's criminals. It's actually.
And you're so right, by the way, with Alvarez. Not only did he need that, but McGill needed that because God damn it, that inning. I texted the group. I said they should have pulled him. There's no way he's getting through this, and it would have been. Worst case scenario, bases clearing tripled, and it's exactly what happened. And if we didn't come back and win that game, that would have been like a absolute confidence killer for that guy. So instead, it just gets washed away and we forget about it. But don't forget, like next time, it's you're at 100 pitches or it's a big spot. Go to the pen because that guy's not ready for that stuff.
That was something I was seeing a lot this weekend of Buck is no longer getting that benefit of the doubt. Yep. Like he knows what he's doing. People were fucking going off on him. Yeah. The hashtag fire Buck, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm logging off because there's no way I'm subscribing to that. But there were some head scratchers. I don't know what
he pushed. Dude, once again, broken record. Last year was so perfect. Every button he pushed. Down to fucking Yohan Lopez in Chicago, letting him sit out there in the 11th inning or 10th inning, whatever. Like, everything he did worked. That's not going to happen for a baseball season. As a matter of fact, more often than not, no matter who your manager is, you leave, scratching your head and mad about who came in the bullpen because they're not only trying to win that game, but they're trying to, round out their entire relief core. They're trying to plan for later in the year and all these things that fans don't take into account. So it's already going to be worse than that because he's going to regress to the mean. And then on top of it, it seems like he's making a few mistakes. So everything is going to be harder this year. Everything.
Yep. At least we cherished it. It's on the record. You go back, listen to those old episodes. If you listen to old baseball podcast episodes, God bless you. That's fucking banana land. But it's the least evergreen podcast you should have is this here podcast, basically, that we do during the season. But yeah, I mean, the other thing is like, if Buck takes out McGill there and Drew Smith gives up a home run, he's wrong in that scenario too. I'm not saying like, but you called it too. You said on the chain, you're like, take him out. Every time I see that, I just think of Peterson. It was like 2-1 count, and he took him out. And you know what? They should have done it on Friday night too. Phil was there in the fucking pouring rain. He was under the overhang, but it's just like, this doesn't feel good. There's Matt Olson hitting it to the fucking bridge.
Our guy RDT texted me in the first game. It was like the favorite trait about Buck is going out to pull a pitcher before the guy hit the homers, even on second base. Like he was ready to pull Reyes before Acuna even got around second base.
Totally. And you know what? Like, unless it's Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander when he comes back, if it's an ace who deserves like one more batter or get through the inning, Tyler McGill is unproven, not that good. And you see him for a couple times through the order. No matter who is coming out of the pen, at least it's a new arm slot, a new velocity, all that shit. It might be a bomb to the moon. chances are it's going to be like one pitch, one out. Like I would go with the bullpen over any other guys 1,000 times out of 1,000, unless they are, Hall of Famers.
And the only person that's not going to be questioned is David Robertson, because that dude is unreal. Listen to these numbers. 13 and a third innings pitched, 18 Ks, 0.68 ERA, 0.75 whip, 6 saves already, and his hard hit percentage is 99. So not only is he getting these people out, like even when they make contact, it's not good contact.
One Shining Mets put up Edwin through this time last year and Robertson through this time last year. Granted, right around now is when Edwin started to we were like, holy shit, wait a minute, something special's happening. But he's just straight up better than Edwin Diaz through this point last year. So once again, wouldn't it be nice to have that in the 8th inning and then everything would be, amazing. But if you're going to lose Edwin Diaz to a Mickey Mouse fake tournament, having Robertson be your replacement is clearly the best thing you could possibly do. And look around the league. Another tweet from him when I was retweeting him, he compiled every single player that we let go this year. Everybody is playing like shit. Everybody's garbage. So, it's pretty much like we pulled the trigger on the right time with everybody, from all the way from Conforto up to, Bassett, Ty Walker. All of these guys are pitching into Epler mode. I know he doesn't, people hate him for some reason. They get so hung up on the trade deadline is when you're supposed to I feel like trade deadlines are the sexy time to make moves. And if you push the right buttons there, you look like a genius. But every offseason, he's been a genius so far. So, give him that credit where he deserves it.
I mean, you're talking about old players. Did you see any Fox News tweets this past weekend?
How about Fox News tweeting about Jacob DeGrom? That was so fucking funny. You can tell that they zeroed in on that guy.
I'm telling you, that was the highlight of Jake's day. He got a Fox News show. He's like, you know what, my career may be over. Is he scheduled to make his next start as of now? Or
no, just inflammation. Could be out for the season. Could be back in 2 weeks. We don't know.
Sounds about right.
I don't want to dance on anybody's grave. I don't care enough about Rangers fans to do, and I told you so. But to everybody who was talking shit, this is how it goes. You get pulled in the 4th. You give up some hits in the 6th. You have inflammation. You have barking. Shut it down for a couple days. That's the script, folks. It's only going to get worse with time. If that one blows up, Epler and Cohen deserve all the credit in the world for moving on from him.
Yeah.
It's I'm sorry, Clem. It's funny to see the Rangers writers say we're not jumping to any conclusions here. It's like the same stuff that the Mets were feeding us. It's like that.
It's true. I was just gonna say I go on the MLB Reddit and stuff, which has all the fan bases kind of talking there, and so many of them, a lot of you'll see the flair. So what team they root for, and the Rangers fans are like, this Jacob DeGrom experience is so beautiful and so gutting at the same time. And then the Mets fan will be like, we tried to tell you, man. It's so, and everyone is feels bad about it, but it's also I'm also so happy that I don't have to deal with it. I have enough shit as a Mets fan to deal with. I don't need this.
I can't worry about the Rangers. Come on, I can't worry about those guys. Give me a break.
Oh man. One other thing from this weekend that I wanted to hit on that that was brought up with all the rain. Did you guys see this thing about the retractable roof that Heyman was reporting, and that the Wilpons were exploring it back in the day? I think it was going to be another 125 mil or so, but 125 mil back then, plus the Wilpons pre-Madoff, but nonetheless the Wilpons. That's why that didn't happen. And now I think it would be $800 million to edit on the Citi Field right now. Yeah. And Cohen was throwing it around, but fuck, that's a Billy. Let's just call it a Billy. We know we know how New York City works. We know how New York works as a whole, right? The Northeast, labor costs and overtime and shit. I don't think the Barstool HQ is still finished yet. And we've been here for fucking 7 years. It is something though. I've always been sports outdoors, especially in the Northeast. I do think there should almost be a law. If it's nice out, the roof has to be open anywhere you go. But
retractable is the answer because, and honestly, it makes sense that it would cost $800 million because you're 50% of the way to the Death Star if you build a stadium that has a retractable roof. You're pretty much creating a Death Star. So I can understand how fucking expensive that would be. I'd love it though. I know that it's not Here's the thing. Unless you're playing in like Wrigley or Fenway, your park has been, ruined by modern baseball anyway. It's not like Citi Field. We have, 100 years of history. It's not like you're ruining a landmark. So why not have it be as up to date as possible? Because, while the rainouts this weekend helped, more often than not, it's going to fuck you over with doubleheaders and skipping pitchers and all this shit. It would probably be a lot smoother to just know you can always play every game on the schedule at home. But I don't need it either way, but I wouldn't be against it either.
I like old stubborn me who was like, again, would have been, and that guy is very much dead. That's 20-something-year-old me. But like, I'm not going to an April game at night unless, if we're going to Barstool, the ballpark or something like that.
When Meek sent the picture of the Friday night game and it was like empty, and he was like, boy, they're gonna get crushed for this. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't know about you guys. I do not give a single fuck when the stadium's not full. It was like 40 degrees and raining in April. Like, I could have front row tickets, legitimately row number 1, and I would say no, I'm not going there. That's a miserable experience. And I don't care if that, if you think that's fair. I guess I'm literally a fair weather fan in that instance. Yes, I'm only going to go if the weather is fair. If it's a playoff game and we can't fill the crowd, like, it's one thing, but I don't give a shit otherwise. So.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you guys are on the Kyle. I imagine you and Phil, you guys are in the same boat, right? With this.
Oh yeah, I don't blame anyone for not showing up Friday. No. I just had tickets.
The people who do go, I'm like pre-crime. Lock those people away. You're crazy. You're crazy.
You're watching a AAA pitcher pitch against the Braves. Like you're going to a slaughter right now.
If you're Cohen for the retractable roof, you can't pay $800 million, because if you're going to do that, you might as well just wait until the lease is up and then build your own stadium and just get rid of the Wilpons stench completely. Because I think it was the Rangers, like the shortest time between they just opened their new stadium and the old stadium, because that was outdoors. And they're like, it's hot as fuck out here. It's humid. We need a roof. Let's just build a whole brand new ballpark. But I was doing it in jest. If you're a Northeast baseball fan, you're meant to be miserable and cold. Like those are the two things. And that's where like all the old fans come in. And it would be really nice if it's like, like pissing rain or snowing in October and you'd like to have the roof.
Close that shit up.
But all those old fans are going to give you shit of like, it's baseball in the Northeast. Like, this is how you have an advantage. And it's like, I get it from that standpoint.
Yeah. You know what though? Like the team is not built that way anymore.
Right.
The players are like, you got a bunch of Dominican guys wearing their fucking, the hoods that go all the way over their face like this. Like nobody wants that shit. You know what will be funny? Not funny, but if let's say Cohen wants to knock down Citi Field, can you, in good conscience, can you rebuild a new stadium that doesn't tribute Jackie Robinson as much?
That's a fair point.
We all agree that it's kind of crazy how much the Dodgers and Jackie Robinson get love from a franchise that he didn't play on. But it's also like, get rid of that old one and let's build a new one and get rid of that Jackie Robinson riffraff. Like, I don't think you can really do that exactly. So,
that's like the only way they can, though. They'd have to build a whole new
one. Yeah, you can't just take away the rotunda or whatever. But either way, that's going to be an interesting spot.
You very much have to keep. You basically have to keep the rotunda and nothing else. Like that's the only. It's like the structure that remains from Citi Field. But I
don't think anybody has a problem with Citi Field though. Like that could be their stadium forever, and I'd be okay with it.
I would be 100% okay if Citi Field's their stadium forever. I would also be 100% okay for Citi Field, which I love. I fucking love Citi Field. I love everything about it. And you're going in a new stadium, and there's always like you're always worried about how they're going to fuck things up, which I personally would not be worried about because Stevie fixed the fucking patch on the uniforms in like a day. He's not going to let them fuck up, $1 billion stadium or whatever. I would also say goodbye to Citi Field in an instant because it is a stadium with pretty much nothing but losing behind it, right? It's like we had all these dark days. They fucking built it. David Wright's power alleys were killed. The first batter hit a fucking home run against us, right? Jody fucking Garrett, you son of a bitch, Belfry, grooved that goddamn ball right down the plate. So, like, as much as I love Citi Field, I'm not going to cry if it did go because there's a lot of bad memories with a few good ones in there. $800 million for a roof is crazy. But at the same point, like, close that shit up any day it's cold, and then obviously rain, sleet, snow, all the other stuff. Because like I would go on like a Friday night if it's 70 degrees inside and warm, because that's how you want to watch baseball. Football, on the other hand, I think is a little different. I think, Kev, you said it. So let's just go down. Wrigley, you can't put a roof on Wrigley, right? You can't put a roof on Fenway. I don't think you can put a roof on Lambeau, right, Kyle? You can't put a roof on Lambeau. And I said this, the Bills' new stadium is coming. Everyone's talking roof. You can't put a roof on it. If you want to put a roof on it so that you could have, Final Fours or concerts, you have to put it in the fucking clause of the contract.
Can't be used for football.
For football, it has to be open every fucking single Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever it is during football season. Like, you can't be like, well, it's going to snow today. And that's where you do get an advantage. I think football, it's like we have Josh Allen, whose arm can cut through the lake effect snow and wind. That does help us. And these guys are
football for the fans is also very different. Once a week, 8 times a year, versus, you're going to send people out there 81 times where there's going to be multiple thunderstorms, a little bit of cold, like probably 2 months on either end with cold weather every single day. That kind of shit makes a big difference.
Target Field, do they have a roof?
No,
that's
if you're
crazy.
in Minnesota and you don't have a roof, though, then it's like
that was stupid though. I remember being like, this is because they were one of those teams like a few years ago. Remember, it was like snowing all over the place in opening day, and it was like, why the fuck would that city not have
Detroit, same thing. Yeah, weird.
Crazy.
It's because they're comparing themselves to poor folk, Kyle. We can't be comparing it. They took Carlos Correa's broken ankle, like it fucking looks like an airplane crash. They're paying that guy $100 million just because they needed to get a free agent there. Which that was like the crux of Heyman's argument, was you're also going to attract free agents where it's like you don't have to worry about April and September being absolute shit. They had Ohtani, who was pitching in like the fucking, Charles River was basically falling upon him in Boston. And they're like, he may not want to come back to the Northeast after this. And that is a fair point. There's bad weather everywhere, but 81 games at home, plus all your rivals are close. I could understand that side of things for sure.
Call Ohtani, call Juan Soto, ask them what they want the stadium to look like, ask them what they want the roof to do, whatever, and do it.
Ask them what they want their jersey retired.
Yeah. You know what we should do? You get a contract and a statue right away.
I like it. I also love the idea of us like having this new state-of-the-art fucking big screen TV and then them just throwing it in the dumpster, being like, it's from the old stadium. We're getting a new one. Like, they won't even like bring it to the new stadium. Steve's like, that's old shit. That shit, we took the plastic off the screen. It's fucking used by now. So nonetheless, no roof this weekend, and it was an absolute W. Thank you, Mother Nature. Yeah. And when I think of Shea, the first thought I have is the tunnels, the concrete tunnels, and how fucking cold it was in those September and April games that meant nothing. So I'd be more than fine with the roof when it's all said and done. But I think that's also part of the fans' mentality. You're going to the games, you're watching 4-1 losses against the Nationals or games like that against the Braves. And people are saying, Clem, are you giving up hope? Are you worried about this team? And I said, I cannot be worried about this team and give up hope when it's the Mets losing to the Braves with AAA pitchers on the mound. Yeah. And this week ahead, we're going to Detroit. There's a bunch of like quote unquote easier teams coming up, which we know after last year, we don't say those words. I can't give up hope before Scherzer, Verlander, Joey Churv, our fucking ace from God, and then Senga are pitching back to back to back to back. This is when you start getting excited again. And that's what we have against the Tigers coming up this week. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're right. I just want to say it also feels like we barely have had any home games so far to start the year. We had that one homestand for opening week. It didn't feel like we had one this past week because the Knicks were playing and it rained out the weekend.
Yep.
And now we're back on the road.
Is Verlander officially slated?
For Thursday, correct.
Yeah, so you're going to get Verlander back, although, I'm sure it'll be like 80 pitches or some shit. They're going to ease him in, so I can't even say like Verlander's back in full effect. But warm weather, Ace comes back, Senga settles in, maybe Joey Churv keeps the fucking magic alive. And also, you can't, I mean, we're just doomed to do this show this way forever. You can't give up hope when we're fucking 30 games into the season and we're like 2 games back or whatever the fuck it is. Like, the Braves have had some awful losses as well. They didn't gain much ground against us. There's no reason at all to give up. Like, if you want to start making your predictions that this team is not good enough and you don't think that they'll be there in the end, fine, whatever. But like right now, there's literally no reason to give up. And like, think about, as a matter of fact, I would say I would say Marte, McNeil have not played anywhere near their capability. Beatty, you think, is going to like come around, and Pete and Lindor keep doing their thing. Like if they were maxing out and playing their best, and were 15 and 16 and 9, 15 and 10, whatever the fuck they are, and just kind of like blah, I would say like I get it, but you haven't had your ace. You have two like stars of last year that are struggling. And if your prediction to me is that those guys are just going to have bad seasons, then fine. That's your prerogative. I think it's better to say this team is basically treading water in second place, not far from first, and they have not played anywhere near their full potential. So
even with Verlander on an 80 pitch count, he might be the most likely pitcher to go 6 innings. That's the one thing where like that's what's driving me insane, because our relief pitching had been good. But if you have every single game they can't get to the fucking 6th inning, and we're dipping into the bullpen game after game, then we're going to see like those effects moving forward. But I do think you get Verlander back, you have Scherzer. We need the starting pitching, which was supposed to be our strength, to show up, and it solves a lot of problems.
It's just, I know like we're at the point where we're old enough that it's like we're the old school guys. It's fucking insane that starters can barely get through 5. Like, it's nuts. Yeah. It used to be like 6 minimum, 7 regularly, 8 would be great, and 9 is amazing. And now it's like 8 and 9 is not even an option. 7 is incredible, and 6 is like, I pray to God, and you hope it's not 4. It's like, you're not even, honestly, at what point, and I guess, the league and the sport has just been trending this way forever. But like in 50 years from now, is it just going to be like you pitch 2, you pitch 2, you pitch 2, you pitch 1? Like, is that just where we're going? Because what does a starter even mean anymore?
I was hearing that they were trying to like change what a quality start is, because nobody gets to 6 anymore, and it's like that's insane for the amount of money that they make. 6
innings, 3 runs is now like your $250 million pitcher.
Yeah,
a quality start is like 3 2/3. It's nuts.
A shutout is like a no-hitter now. If a guy goes 9 innings and throws a shutout, it's like seeing a no-hitter. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just witnessed that.
It's really that bad. Like just a regular old 9-inning game, even if you give up a few runs here and there, it's like that's impossible now.
Yeah.
I would say this. I bet you going forward from here on out, the only complete games you'll see are like no hitters and perfect games. Like you'll because like if you give up a couple hits or a couple runs, no manager's gonna like have the leash to give it to you. Yeah, they're gonna like bring them out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's almost like the only way you're gonna get enough leash to get there is if you're doing something special. Otherwise, there's no fucking chance you're gonna get out of there.
Yeah, right? Phil, you said that the other day, right? Like, I just want one of my pitchers to give me a quality start. That's all.
And Joey Church was the last one.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. It's nuts. Actually, let's all do a Joey Churv here, so we get at least a gift, because I was looking for the gift the other day. We're doing the Churv right now. Shout out Joey Churv going tonight. So we got Joey Churv versus Michael Lorenzen. We got Max Scherzer versus Joey Wentz, and then Justin Verlander versus Eduardo Rodriguez. That is the 3. Is this Eduardo? This Red Sox? Yeah, this is Red Sox Eduardo Rodriguez. Okay, I know him.
I like having your aces on the back too, like because if Joey goes out there and pitches tonight and you win, and then you can bank on those 2 guys, it would be a very, very nice way to kick off the week or to end the week to sweep the fuck out of these guys.
It's like you're saving your mushrooms at the end of a Mario Kart race. Yeah, if I can get past them here, I hit him with the red, then I get these 2 mushrooms, and this motherfucker is toast when it's all said and done.
They are playing in the worst division in baseball too, and they still only have 10 wins. I don't know who they've played, but they're 10-17, and the White Sox and the Royals are in their division, and it's
by the way, just a quick shout out to the White Sox and Reinsdorf and all the motherfuckers.
Oof.
We'll just go ahead and call that the curse of Steve Cohen. You crossed the wrong guy. You're a bunch of broke boy bitches. You cried and complained, and you went ahead and you fucked the only core you've ever had, and you nickel and dimed the only chance you ever had to really make a run. And now, your window is shut, and it's all over for you. And I would have sympathy for you because it's exactly like the Wilpons, but you guys were fucking assholes to Steve Cohen. So rotten hell and stay at the bottom forever, Chicago.
This is what I'm going to say. I'm obviously a Sons of Uribe still,
you,
and I
Clem.
still love my people. I know you have like a legit axe to grind with White Sox Dave, which fuels a lot of this. I want to just say,
Steve Cohen, Clem.
fuck Jerry Reinsdorf. I hated Jerry Reinsdorf before I even knew who Steve Cohen was. I hated him back when he was paying Michael Jordan's salary to rip my heart out every fucking year in the goddamn playoffs, Kevin. I don't have any love for Jerry Reinsdorf. Fuck that guy. But I have to say, this is what I want to do. All these Mets fans who are coming at me being like, this season's terrible. We're so much worse than last season, blah, blah, blah. When it's like, we just need our aces to come back and we need to stop throwing minor league pitchers. We're on our 10th fucking starter. We're already double the amount of starters you usually go through, and it's only been 1 month of baseball. So this is what I want. All these fucking Mets fans that are ready just to like jump off the fucking roof, even though we're in second place and above 500. This is a new thing. It's called the Sons of Uribe Prisoner Exchange Program. You have to go to Chicago and follow the White Sox with the Chicago White Sox fan for a week. Then you come back to me and say, holy fuck, I forgot what it used to be like. Because that is exactly what life used to be like with the Wilpons. They had their one year where they were awesome. Remember the White Sox had that one season with the Russa. They were fucking in the playoffs, looking great. And I said this to like Dave and Chuck around the office. I said, guys, I hate to say it, but we've seen this a million times as Mets fans. You have that 1 year, and then it's 10 years of misery. And it fucking has played out exactly like that. So that's my new thing, the Sons of Uribe Prisoner Exchange Program. You complain about the Mets, you have to go watch the White Sox for a week and remember what life used to be like under the Wilpons. And then you'll come back and go, it's not so fucking bad anymore. By the way, I have to say this too.
Me that he watches Frank's videos, and he's like, it's as if Frank was actually just telling it like it is. He's like, that's my life.
Yeah,
he's not overreacting if it was in the White Sox context, and I'm like, that sucks.
And that's why I have beef with Chuck, because Chuck, I know the social team has to play the hits, and he fucking gets the numbers. But I know Chuck always fucking needles him a little more. He's the one hitting record on a lot of those videos, and he also took a dragon shot at me, which I fucking found offensive because I'm a 2TV guy. And I said, Chuck, this is a Sons of Uribe thing. We're fucking like, we're the two scumbags that hung out each other in high school when no one else would hang out with us. And now he's fucking, and now that I'm the one with the lottery, and I'm still rooting for these guys. And Kev's dancing on their graves. So I'm just a little upset. I'm rooting for the White Sox, but it's bad, dude. That Luis Robert video, I've seen that a million times as a Mets fan. It's when everything goes bad and your young stud who's getting paid a ton of money is just not giving a fuck. Did someone say Pedro's guys fight? Because that's like the new thing. Like, oh, Pedro's guys fought today. I'm like, oh no, they even have their catchphrases lined up. It's bad, man. So, Kev, you're dancing on the graves. I can't stop you if you're gonna do it.
Fuck them. Fuck anybody who crosses Steve Cohen. And the White Sox had one good season where all of a sudden they forgot about who they were and where they're from until you fix the root of the problem. And I feel bad for them, but this is how it's gonna be until Reinsdorf is dead or sells.
Mm-hmm.
We
failed
got
rebuild.
out of the hood and got out of it, and you didn't. That's like basically how it's going. Just that really, you should have to go watch other teams. I really do like that, Clem. Like the Mets are one small winning streak away from being 20-10. It's crazy. It's it's just so fucking nuts. So,
and I want to say they're going to have that streak now because it's at Detroit versus Colorado, at Cincy, at Washington. However, I learned from last season, I'm not counting my fucking chicken.
Well, last season, except for September, we did always take care of business with those shitty teams. It's more historically, you would say you got to be careful. But we've got 3 games with each of them.
I think there might be a 4 games sprinkled in. No, 4 games against Washington at the end. And then it comes Tampa. Then comes the fucking real team.
So we have 13 games with dog shit coming up, right?
Yep.
What do you sign for? 9?
9-4? Do you want 9-4?
I'd go 10-3.
I was going to say 10-3, get a little greedy there.
I want 10-3, but would you sign for 9-4 right now?
Yeah.
I would. I mean, 8 feels like, you left a lot of meat on the bone, and 7's a disaster. And 9, 10 it should be, and 9 is probably about where it'll end up. And
the Nats have already proven that they're the shitty team this year that we can't ever overlook.
That'll be the thorn in our side.
I was going to say that Rays series coming up is going to be so annoying because you're going to have people say, oh, the Rays spend this amount of money on their players, and the Mets spend this amount of money, and the Rays are this much better.
Yeah, but you know what? If during that win streak or during that Rays series, Verlander and Scherzer are lights out, because that's where the bulk of that money we always talk about is tied up, well then it was fucking worth it. Then it's fucking then the money is worth it. So fuck you guys.
Yep, and that's the biggest thing is that pitching. And again, the pitching. I'm looking at the matchups. Joey Cherv, Scherzer. I've stopped calling. I love Joey Cherv. It's Joey Fuego. It's the fucking sickest name. I gotta respect it. Joey Fuego, Scherzer, Verlander, Senga, McGill. That's a rotation now. That's a rotation I can be proud of. I would never really fucking like. I never even knew Jose Quintana. He's dead, by the way. Don't expect him to come back this year. And Cookie is apparently maybe coming back. I do not want to see Cookie back. This would be our 5, other than McGill, who scares the shit out of me about getting hurt. I want to see this 5 trade deadline. Pick him another arm. McGill to the bullpen. That would be ideal. Obviously, there's going to be injuries, or if we have that fucking dickhead dildo Phil Cuzzy again, we'll have another suspension coming up. But other than that, I feel good. I wish I had Castellani on because we should have. I guess we don't really need a full-blown Tigers preview, right? I don't think we need to really get down deep in the weeds of the Tigers.
Clem, let me tell you this. A full-blown Tigers preview is the last thing on earth that anyone needs to listen to.
Or
even Tigers fans.
Yeah, Castellani might put a bullet in his head if he had to fucking recap the Tigers, right?
That is, I would check out. I would politely say, I gotta go, guys, if you did a full Detroit breakdown.
That was the first thing I wanted to say. AL Central, did you see those stats the other day? They are by far the worst winning percentage in all the league. It's like 650, blah, blah, and then they're like 350. And it's because now the schedule, they have to actually play teams outside the AL Central more, than they would have. So they're just getting their dicks kicked in by everybody. So that is
first, the Indians?
Twins.
So they're looking like shit. But little preview, we won't do a full deep dive. First guy I think of with Detroit Tigers, we're going to see our boy Javi there. And I don't know. Javi could go fucking good Javi on us, put up 4 bombs, right? Like, I wouldn't be shocked. From what I've seen, though, Javi, he's forgetting the outs. He's not hustling out of the box. He got benched for both of those things. He's gone bad, Javi. Good Javi come out anytime. He's going to scare the shit out of me every time he comes up to the plate. But
we're kind of like the numbers aren't reflecting. He's hot right now. He was so bad that he's now lifted himself out of like the abyss. So we could be getting like stealing the bases, running around, hair on fire Javi that we saw when he was on the Mets.
But I mean, his numbers overall since we passed on him, very, very much justified. And then I know people are complaining, oh, well, then he was just a rental. Sometimes guys are rentals. And fucking if Pete Crow Armstrong is the man in 5 years, then so goddamn be it. Sometimes the moves don't work out. But right now, I'm not losing sleep over that.
Yep. Meek, tell me something about the Detroit Tigers. Give me some fun facts about this fucking team because I really don't know much. Is Mickey their DH? Is he starting at DH for them still?
He hit 7th, I think. But this is one of the most miserable teams in baseball. That's it.
I forgot Mickey. Oh my God.
This is his last season too. He's retiring. So he's like his swan song has been awesome.
He has not been good in like 7 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael Lorenzen, 7.07 ERA. He's pitching tonight. Joey Wentz,
6.45
tomorrow.
Looking back on it, I know the Tigers, I guess it was in their heyday, but like, why the fuck did Miggy go there? Such a weird team.
Well, he was traded and then
traded Marlins.
Yeah.
But then he signed with them.
Yeah, because they just threw a boatload of money at him.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It just seems like
was that Dombrowski?
Yeah, it was Dombrowski. And their owner, before he died, was just spending willy-nilly, trying to win a championship.
That was during that run with Verlander and, like, when they were beating the Yankees and shit. So, like, it was working. It's just, like, in hindsight, you would think that Miguel Cabrera would have been like, I don't know, I'm going back. I'll go to the Marlins or I'll go, like, Detroit Tigers is not where I'm spending the bulk of my
He may have 700 home runs if he played elsewhere.
Dude, he was awesome. He was so fucking incredibly good. That was one guy I always dreamed of having. But yeah,
that was the year Mike Trout came in second in MVP, and now in retrospect, they're like, well, he really should have won. I'm old school to the max on that. Like, if you win the Triple Crown, that's it.
I know. I mean, Trout was just, when you add in the defense and all that shit, he just was the better player. But winning the Triple Crown in the modern era is fucking outrageous.
I was very much Kev, I remember you blogged. I think you were a Trout guy too. And I had a whole blog I made. I think it was one of my porn star blogs that compared Mike Trout, the Mike Trout not getting the MVP to that. It drives me crazy. But I said we were going to do this one at the end of every episode. and it was going to be like, hey, let's just pull up some random guys. I just got to share Miguel Cabrera's baseball reference page. Can you guys see that all right there?
Yeah.
So let's see, 2 MVPs for his career. A lot of bold, which means he led the league in, led the league in batting average 4 times. Obviously, you have the Triple Crown there in 2012. Led the league in home runs twice, which I didn't even realize he led the league in home runs. I mean, obviously he did it the Triple Crown year, but I didn't realize he did it his first year in Detroit as well. And he was a fucking baby, man. 25 when he got traded too. And that was Andrew Miller, Cameron Maben, and I don't even know any of the other guys from that trade. I think those are the 2 guys that were like the big parts of it. So,
bro, 48, 44 home runs. That is crazy.
In Detroit,
dude, batting. I mean, from 2008 till 2015, he didn't bat below 320. Like, Jesus Christ. And that, I mean, I know batting average is an antiquated stat, but it's also like to see some of those numbers. I saw Twitter was doing a good old fashioned Tony Gwynn stat fest the other day, and like to see some of his numbers, seeing guys just casually bat like 378 for a season is just so far and away dead and gone that seeing guys who always hit 330 is just incredible. It really is. That guy was fucking something special.
Absurd, man. Fucking absurd. I'm even just looking at these old teams he was on too, like the 2011 Tigers here. That's Miggy. They have, Austin Jackson in center, Maglio, Victor Martinez at DH, and then they're pitching. They had Verlander and Scherzer as their 1-2. And I mean, Scherzer, his ERA was 4.43. He wasn't what he was now. He's 26 years old, but Verlander was a fucking horse back then. Porcello was all right too. Brad Penny. So, little Detroit love for you guys today. I don't know how else to fucking get hyped for a Detroit Tigers series. I forgot they had Leland there too, because he was obviously with Florida as well. So,
I checked in with Michael Fulmer. He was one of our off-season targets possibles and stuff, bringing him back to the Mets. He's having a bad season, if in case you were wondering. 6.57 ERA, 0-2 in just 12 innings.
I was ready to bring him back with open arms because it would have been the full circle of the Yo trade, right? Because that was the big guy we traded. Did he have a no-hitter? He had a no-hitter, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
I know Humber had a no-hitter. I don't know if Fulmer had
I don't think Fulmer ever did because he fell off after his rookie year.
His rookie year, though, he was good. It was thank God Yo panned out immediately.
I think he flirted with one then. I feel like I remember.
I don't remember him ever having a no-hitter.
Let me see. Let's just quick little Google search. Michael Fulmer, no-hitter. Takes no-hitter to the 7th.
Okay, so that's it.
Yep. So that was it. So he had it against the Angels through 6 2/3. So I thought he was closer there, but nonetheless. And then since we brought him up, I got to look at a Pete Crow Armstrong. Buckle up, boys. 316, 2 home runs right now. So in double A.
It's double A. So
he's 21 years old.
I get every single Kalenic highlight in my group chat from my friends from home. And my friend just keeps calling him the new age Barry Bonds. He is having a good season.
Yeah, it only took him 5 years. People were ready to give up on Alvarez after 30 at-bats. You think we would have waited 5 years for Kalenic?
Yeah, and with Kalenic, too, I told you, he is powered by whenever Edwin Diaz would blow a save, he did a home run. Edwin Diaz being hurt for the year, he's basically on steroids right now. So, Jared Kalenic. And I'm honestly, this is the guy's honest truth. I'm rooting for him because I'm telling you, he probably is still doesn't like the Mariners front office. In my head, I'm going to say that they've still pissed him off by doing stupid shit because he was beefing with them like a year or two ago. And then if he becomes a free agent, Uncle Stevie knows what the Mets fans want. Bring the prodigal son back home. And if he's a 6th center fielder, that'll line up right around the time Nimmo might be looking to move him to the corner, which, by the way, Brandon fucking Nimmo, another tip of the cap for another fucking wedge gem. I mean, could he win the Gold Glove? Who's in the National League? Who's his other who's his competition?
Michael Harris. That's about it.
yeah. Fuck. So, it's crazy to see Brandon Nimmo become I don't think anyone, even the biggest Nimmo guy, could have ever seen this coming on offense and defense. So yeah, we got the Tigers tonight. We'll be learning a little bit more about them the next 3 days. Hopefully we have a little post-game show, whenever the big wins happen. Maybe we have a little
we got Mets After Dark tomorrow. So if you guys want to jump on, you're more than welcome. Subscribe to the YouTube, jump on, get your calls in. If Castellani wants to jump on tomorrow, he's more than welcome to Probably complain about Detroit, I would imagine, hopefully, because that means we win.
Yep, that's right. Well, we should definitely get Castellani on. That was my fault. I should have reached. I was so busy thinking about the Braves, I wasn't even looking forward. Best part is 6:40, 2 nights in a row, then a 1:10 game. So early to bed. Tonight we got the Knicks game will be like at halftime by the time this fucking thing is over. So that's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Let's hope we get a nice 2-hour game tonight.
Goddamn right. Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Sure.